Okay, Allan. So how do we find fulfillment in life?
How do we find fulfillment in life? It's a great question. It's a great question. It's very individualized. What's fulfilling for one is not fulfilling for all. So I can't just give you a blanket answer that would apply to everybody potentially watching this sort of video. But I believe the greatest fulfillment comes from the balance between the material and the spiritual. And so we are physical beings operating in a physical form with physical needs, right? We need a roof over our head. We certainly need sustenance. We need some type of material purpose, ways to fill our days, connection with others. Those are deeply intrinsic to the human experience. And so for basic fulfillment, depending on where you are in your journey, most of that type of energy that will occupy your thoughts, your days, the way you spend your time. But the mistake is to think that that's all that there is. And I believe that true fulfillment is actually going to be a function of also extending into the spiritual or the metaphysical. And that is the questions around greater purpose, intention, higher calling, why are we here? And even if you don't go into those type of questions for yourself, but finding the separation from the pure material possessions or material purpose and finding greater good or the benefit of others, or extending beyond your own needs base into the needs of certainly family or friends, but potentially into the needs of community, and then recognizing that everybody is kind of on their journey doing the best they can. Those sort of behaviors will start to bring you into a much more meaningful environment, and then to take that one step further and start to deprioritize the seriousness or the heaviness of your everyday life, and to recognize that everything that we have will one day come to pass, and the things that we prioritize like status and achievement will not offer much value as we get older, and to recognize at the end of the day that a calling into our source, a greater connection with where we've come from, that will ultimately give you the framework by which you can evolve beyond the ego and into the spiritual. And that's the true meaning. So I guess if I was to articulate it really cleanly, your meaning is going to be a function of having your basic needs met and feeling connected to how you're spending the days, all the while seeking to benefit and help those around you however possible. So it's a sense of sacrifice and service. And then beyond that, recognizing that there is some higher calling, that we're on a spiritual journey that just happens to embody the physical form for 70 or 80 years, but that ultimately we're all spiritual beings. And the more you can connect to your spiritual self or your higher consciousness, the greater framework you'll have to put everything into perspective as you move along.